Greetings, YouTube. Genie Ali reporting in once again with another win, another easy win. Today in this video, I will show you how I was able to predict the outcome of this ice hockey game on the 15th of October 2024 with high confidence based on the data that I own. And I will, of course, show the chart for the game, which was in Calgary, and then I will show you the reference charts that I had, and I was able to predict looking at those reference charts. All right, so let's just get into it. So the hockey game were the Flames of Calgary and the Blackhawks. So the NHL's at 9 p.m. local. And remember once again about the start time. The start time was exactly at it's 7 p.m. local because it's in Calgary. I'm on the Eastern, so sorry, it was 7 p.m. local. So the puck drop, which is the starting trigger for the event, was exactly at 7:08. All right, this was in Calgary, of course, and at that time, the chart, there were two aspects: one favoring Calgary and one to the underdog. All right. So I've already mentioned Calgary were favored. So we already know how to assign the houses, and the ruler for Calgary is Venus, right here, because the first house is Taurus, and the ruler of the first, Venus, is in conjunction with the pot of fortune or Fortuna, right? And that is a big testimony for Calgary. And then there's one more aspect that was favoring the underdog Blackhawks. What should we use for Blackhawks? Blue, all right. Chicago 4-7. Okay, and that was the moon making a sextile to the anti-sign of 7. Let's just find 7 here. 7. This is the ruler for the 7th house and represents the underdogs, and its shadow or anti-sign is right here. All right, and again, let me just give you a quick rundown on how the anti-sign is calculated. So the ruler here, Mars, is at 22 degrees, roughly 22 degrees in Cancer, and so the anti-sign of Cancer is Gemini. All right. So what you do is you just subtract the degrees of Mars by 30, and then you'll have like 708, and then that's how you find this anti-sign, and you just kind of label it there. And then once it's in Gemini, it's getting an aspect from the moon, a sextile. All right, and so I labeled it here. So the moon making a sextile to the ruler of 7th anti-sign is a weak aspect to the favorite. All right, and of course Calgary won. Now, how did I know? All right, now this is because I already had 2 records of the same thing happening in 2 previous games that I had saved, and I will show them to you now. All right, so the first one was in Brazil. This was approximately last year, 29th August 2023. I like red. All right, and if you look at the chart here, this was actually, let me just show you the game here. This was a soccer game. It was a Copa Libertadores, and that's South American tournament. It's like a Champions League. It's not exactly Champions League, but it's similar to it. And the favored team was this Brazilian team. Yeah, I can't draw here. There we go. The Brazilian team, and they were against some Bolivian team, all right? And they were the underdog. As you can see, the home team was heavily favored. All right, so let's check this out. And in the chart for that game, it started at 7 p.m. local. Wow. This is my first day using like PowerPoint for this. And okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So the aspects were almost the same. I mean, I'll just show them to you now. So the ruler of 1 for the favorite was Jupiter, which is right here, and it is making a conjunction with the antisign of the dispositor. See, here's the dispositor, and its antisign is right here in Leo, because the shadow of Leo is Taurus. And then when you subtract 30 from 1244, you get 17 degrees, right? So at 17, it is making a conjunction with the ruler of the 1 of the first house, Jupiter, because Jupiter is at 1532 and it's applying to 1716. All right, and that was the first aspect. It's a big aspect, major one for the favorite. And then for the underdog, it was the ruler of 7th right here. This is the 7th house, Virgo. The ruler is Mercury, and it's right inside its own house. All right, and according to the method, this is a weak aspect. All right, so ruler of 7 and 7 is a weak aspect, and those were the only two things, only two aspects in the chart. And the favorite won 2-0. All right, so that was one record that I had that gave me confidence for the ice hockey game yesterday. Now, but I had another one too, so that boosted my confidence even more. All right, and that was a match in China, same month last year, 22nd August 2023. At 7:30 p.m. local. All right, and this, let me just show you the. All right, so this was a Asian, like AFC Champions League. All right, so that's the Asian Champions League match, some qualification game, and the favorite team once again was the home team. I think they're named Zhejiang, and they were against the underdogs Port. All right, so let's look at the chart for that game. Same deal. All right, there was a. Now, if you haven't already noticed, these three charts that I'm showing you today have the same thing going on for them, even though the aspects are different. There's a strong aspect to the favorite. I'm sorry, excuse my handwriting. And a weak aspect to the underdog. All right, look, that is the key. That is the common denominator, all right, that I observed. All right. Once again, sorry for my handwriting. So remember, this was the Brazilian game. Same thing. Strong aspect to the underdog, and a weak aspect to the. Sorry, strong aspect to the favorite and a weak aspect to the underdog. And then the Chinese or the Asian Champions League game, we had the moon making a sextile to Fortuna, or pot of fortune. All right, and that's the strong aspect to the favorite. Remember, the first ruler is 7. Sorry, the first ruler is Jupiter, and the 7th ruler is Mercury, because it's Virgo, 7th house. All right, so the first aspect was to the favorite was moon's making a sextile to Fortuna, and then the underdog aspect was, or the weak one to the underdog was the ruler of 7th, in the 7th, which is a weak aspect. And then again, favorite won. Okay, so after looking at the records here, I was 100% confident that the favored team in this hockey game would also win, and they did, 3-1, and I bet on it, of course. And I will actually make a separate video for my bets. I'll actually show you like this whole month how I did. But yeah, that's pretty much the algorithm, the rundown of how I accurately predict games. And it's because I have so much data. I have a huge database that I have been compiling since 2017, all observed charts, and observing the common denominators, and I'm like 100% accurate now. Now the only there are some conditions that have to be met, and one of them I will tell you here is that the chart, like this chart and this chart and this chart, they have to be unique. They have to be the only chart on that day with the aspects, with whatever's happening in them. Like, all right, so for example, yesterday, this chart, which has ruler 1 conjunct Fortuna, and then a weak aspect to the underdog, moon to the 7th antisign. This chart will only work, or it will only produce this result only if it is unique, if it's the only game or event that day that has this happening. If there's another chart, like in the same location, same time, with the same aspects, then it will not work. It will be inconsistent. Then it will be like, random or gamble. But when it's unique, it is 100% accurate. Yeah, and that's why. But yeah, that's all I had today. Thanks again for watching.